Hello viewers, I am your happiness coach and motivational speaker Rajiv Datta. So let's discuss about the northeastern part of India. I like to tell you about a 15th to 16th century Assamese polymath Shankardev. Assamese literature is the entire corpus of poetries, novels, short stories, etc. After Shankardev and Madhavdev, many eminent writers emerged in this scenario, and amongst them in this present scenario, I like to discuss about a writer, a prolific writer, who is Dr. Rita Chaudhuri. Rita Chaudhuri is a Sahitya Academy Award winner for Assamese literature. Makam by Rita Chaudhuri is an epoch-making novel in Assamese, and now there is an English version of this novel which is called Chinatown Days. And now I take the privilege of giving a book review of this book called Chinatown Days. So let's walk into the inside the pages of the book Chinatown Days of Rita Chaudhuri. Makam is an old town in the map of Upper Assam in Assam, and Makam means golden horse in Chinese. And this is a town which is inhabited by the Indian Chinese. There is a long history associated with this story. When during the time of Sepoy Mutiny, during that period, some Britishers, they came through boats on the Brahmaputra, and they reached a place in the very remote place in Assam, and there is a Singpho king, and they had some conversation and agreement with the Singpho king, and the Singpho king gave them the secrets of the tea cultivation and all the benefits of tea drinking. And now what they needed was the expertise laborers. So at that time, China was not the China of today. China had also lots of problems, and the most eminent problems were China had famine, drought, hunger, and all the slavery, etc. and etc. So the people of China, of Chinese origin, they were sold like slaves by the chieftain. We view this story through a second generation Chinese girl, Maylin, who is married to an Assamese guy, Pulok Borua, and through their eyes we view the entire episode of this book, and how the Chinese aggression started, and then when India lost the war, 1962 war to China, they started suspecting these Indian Chinese who had no business, no link, nothing with China, mainland China. So they were suspected by the Indian government, and what all tortures and everything took place to them. Let's share it and let's understand their fate. What tortures they got, and then they were suspected as the spy of the Chinese government, and all these Chinese, they were held and they were put on jails on the pretext that it is for their safety, and how they were taken on a goods train from Assam to a place in Rajasthan which is called Deoli. And this entire journey from Assam to Deoli in Rajasthan is a horrific journey. Lots of people died on the way, and lots of people got sick, and finally they reached Rajasthan, and they were put on a concentration camp in Deoli. And from Deoli, again after remaining there for around 3 to 6 months, there was an agreement with the Indian and the Chinese government, and the Chinese government agreed to take back these Indian Chinese into China, and finally they were boarded on a ship, Chinese ship, from the port of in Madras, and were taken to mainland China. And then how the Chinese government there were not kind to them, they were aliens for the other Chinese, and they had a stepmotherly or a second class citizen treatment in China. And finally Maylin, she managed to move from China to Hong Kong, because though Hong Kong is a part of China, but it is a two state one country type of rule, and so the rules of Hong Kong are different. So if you marry a person in Hong Kong, then you can stay in Hong Kong, and there is much freedom in remaining staying in Hong Kong. And so Maylin managed to get hold of a guy, and though officially they were married, but they did not stay together. He only came to take his, because he is a, you can say that he's a rented husband. So he just come in the mountain and he takes his fees or rent, whatever you say. And so it's a very beautiful book which has lots of tales of love, hate, tragedy, say families getting separated, and lots of things. So how the Indian government has shown a very say alien or very say inhuman treatment to these Indian Chinese. So they are, though they are very much Assamese or very much Indian, but how they were treated. And I think once you read this book, you will feel that the Indian government owe an apology to this Indian Chinese community. So I request you to read this book, enjoy, and because we should also thank Rita Chaudhary, who has done a lot of research. And to tell you one thing, I have been through this place, which is now called Makum. It's a small town in Upper Assam, and once you go through that or go to that town or pass through the town, I feel that the history is shouting at me. I can feel the whole novel just getting dramatized in front of me. So I request all of you to just go and say get this book and see the beauty of this literature. So thank you.